that
I know what cancer is. I'm a cancer survivor.
Okay.
Is he in remission?
Yes, he is.
And who filed for divorce?
I did.
In sickness.
In sickness.
And in health.
And in health.
As Gen Xers, we might be the last generation en masse to grow up in homes that were somewhat traditional. In my case, even though my mother worked, she cooked pretty much every day. She would make breakfast on Saturdays or Sundays. My father did relatively little cooking outside of barbecuing, but he was the breadwinner. And there was no real complaining about it. It was just kind of the way that the household worked. But there were days when my mom was tired. And everybody knows the rules about potlucks. On potlucks, you get something that's easy and relatively quick to make. And so at times when my mother was just beat, and give her credit because my mother, she passed away from sickness, but sometimes she just wasn't having it. And so there were three go-tos when ain't gonna be no cooking today and we're going to a potluck. So the first one is the store-bought potato salad. Now that's one that you can depend on. Everybody's going to eat it. They're not going to be overly complaining about it because they know that it's fresh and they don't have to worry about any contamination. Because remember, you can't eat everybody's cooking, especially when it's something that has mayonnaise in it. Now, the second one, you may not know this trick, but my mother surely did, is the whipped cream Jell-O salad. Now, this took relatively little time to make. I think you could make the Jell-O by, boiling and mixing, put it in the fridge, get the mixer out, bada boop, and it's done. Easy, easy, easy. And of course, the last one. Anytime you went to someone's house and you showed up with this, it's basically saying, hey, listen, this is my day off. We good? Even though these rolls are relatively good, I'd say they're fantastic. They require very little effort. Open the pack, brown them in the oven, done. Classic rolls. Speaking of classic rolls.
Black people are the only people that talk about money in relationships.
It's crazy.
Because other cultures just know the man is going to be the caretaker or the provider. Like, other cultures just know that. But when I say it, in the comments like, what the this lazy, what's she talking about?
So
every other culture understands the man is the provider and the woman is a nurturer. That's not even a conversation that they have because they already know it. They grow up knowing that. Yeah. Black people are the only people that see our moms do more than our dads. And so we have a reverse thinking about it.
I find this argument that she's making very interesting because for the duration of our lifetimes, we've been taught basically in the West that guys and girls are the same. That anything a guy can do, a girl can do better, that gender roles are outdated. And so to hear this argument being made in 2023 is basically an argument that I'm soft, I'm the nurturer, so you should give me money. And that would work if this were 1960. Unfortunately, it's 2023.
People are the only people that see our moms do more than our dads. And so we have a reverse thinking about it. We think, oh, well, my mom did it so I could do it, or my mom did it so she can do it. That's why so many black women are unmarried, because we don't have roles. Gender roles are not a bad thing in marriage. Everyone needs to have their, if I don't know my role, how do I know what part I'm playing in anything?
For sure.
When you're on a basketball team, everybody has their position, everybody has their role. You need to know what your role is. And a woman's role is the nurturer, and if you have kids, the caregiver, and the man's role is the provider, and he brings in the money. He brings in the money and the woman manages it, and that's how the household's supposed to run.
In sickness.
In sickness.
And in health.
And in health.
To love.
To love.
Cherish.
Cherish.
And to obey.
We didn't talk about that one in counseling.
We did talk about that in counseling. Yes, we did. So you want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right.
We remember the video of this couple making the rounds, and what's interesting about this particular wedding was that there are 2 points in this wedding where the congregation's laughter was so loud that they basically had to stop the wedding. And the first time was when the pastor said, for richer or for poorer, and she didn't want to repeat that. And then when he said to honor and obey, she didn't want to repeat that. Now, this also is a side of tradition, but apparently if we're going to honor tradition, looks like we're only trying to honor one side of it, at least these days in modern dating. Traditional wedding vows read as follows. I, wife, take you, husband, to be my husband, to have and to hold from this day forward for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, from this day forward until death do us part. Sounds romantic, doesn't it? Now for reality.
Why'd y'all divorce?
My husband got sick with cancer, and that changed him, and it changed the dynamics of our marriage. There was nothing that I did not do.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Did he have chemo or radiation?
He had a form of chemo, which is called BCG. It's an injection.
I know.
That,
I know what cancer is. I'm a cancer survivor.
Okay.
Is he in remission?
Yes, he is.
And who filed for divorce?
I did.
Why?
Emotionally, as a partner and a spouse, I was emotionally neglected. And financially, funds began to be withheld from me that would have normally never been an issue.
Ooh, God almighty.
I believe personally the reason why it's so hard for so many guys to kind of come to grips with the fact that things are just not what we were told that they were is that we would really like to believe this. We would like to believe that there is a woman who is going to love us no matter what happens to us, whether we get sick or we lose our money, and she's going to stay with us forever. But we know better than that now. We know that if we stop performing, if we get sick, if things go awry, or better yet, she might just start making more money than you, then that sows the seeds for the end of the relationship.
Was he on prednisone also?
No,
Okay. Was he on any kind of steroid?
no, he refused.
But he was still injected in poison. You have to work? Did you have to work when you were married?
No, but I
No,
chose
you didn't have
to.
to. No. You chose. But you didn't pay no real bills. You didn't have no skills. Knock it off. He was the money. He was the money. See, he actually saved you from yourself. And then when he got sick, are you a Christian?
No,
Where'd you get married?
we got married at a courthouse.
And what vows did you use?
Sickness and in health.
You need to know what your role is. And a woman's role is the nurturer. And if you have kids, the caregiver, and the man's role is the provider. And he brings in the money. He brings in the money and the woman manages it. And that's how the household's supposed to run.
For my generation, as men, we were socialized to be able to do for ourselves. Make sure you can cook and clean for yourself because you shouldn't rely on a woman for that. And so if there's a new generation of guys who can cook, clean, take care of themselves. And so when you start talking about nurturing, there's an attitude out there that's a little bit different than that from someone that you all know.
If you cooking for your boyfriend who's not your husband, you messed up still. You don't cook for men who are not your husband unless they're paying you and you're a chef and your name is on a check. Okay? You don't cook for people unless you're a caterer. Okay? Unless they're your children. You don't cook for grown men for free. Okay?
In a modern dating environment that has Shira 7 telling younger women to essentially put a price tag on their nurturing, for many men, many of whom are very romantic, they would love to have a woman to cherish and have someone that they could be with until death did them part, and be with him through sickness and in health, and for richer or for poor. But for men, the role remains the same: provide. On the other side, those roles are evolving. And so for many men, the only roles that guys want to partake of in the West are these: a little bit of butter, maybe olive oil, a sprinkle of salt. Some people drizzle honey on them, throw them in the oven, and that is fine eating. As for the other roles, the traditional wedding vows and that nature, I don't know if that's the best deal for a lot of guys. And so, like I talk about often, if you're going to at least try to be traditional, you have to go where you can at least get a woman that is more traditional, if she's traditional any at all. And so that's why guys are getting on airplanes. Pretty simple, really. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.